West. Yes, so the conditions here have deteriorated very quickly over the past couple of hours. We were looking at this camera earlier this morning, very calm. Now you see the heavy waves and the surf crashing into the southernmost point buoy. We know locally, even at the Naples Pier, the conditions are deteriorating as well. We have special coverage now at 11 o'clock this morning as Hurricane Idalia is heading towards the state of Florida. I'm Corey Lazar.
And I'm Lindsay Sablon. Less than an hour ago, the mayor of Fort Myers Beach declared a local state of emergency, and really that just cuts the red tape. So if they need to, they can mobilize quickly. But as Corey mentioned, we did just get this brand new information down. So let's get over to Weather Authority meteorologist Zach Malak. And Zach, Corey was talking about how that cone was kind of narrowing in. And the good news here again, like you guys have been stressing here at Wink News, Southwest Florida not taking a direct hit.
That is true. Southwest Florida will not take a direct hit from this storm. No matter the update, the last 3, 4, 5 in a row has kept this storm moving due north at 14 miles per hour. That is the latest now at 11 a.m. from the National Hurricane Center. The biggest increase and the biggest change is now the strengthening of Hurricane Idalia. It's now up to an 85 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane, with the pressure continuing to drop. As the pressure drops, that is showing an increase in strength for this storm, and that's why the wind speeds continue to go up. The other change is that the National Hurricane Center is now forecasting this storm to become a strong Category 3 hurricane, 125 mile per hour hurricane before landfall early tomorrow morning. This is going to be approaching the Big Bend region of Florida. And keep in mind, 125 miles per hour is just 5 miles per hour away from Category 4 strength. So whether you name it a 3 or 4, it's going to be very impactful for our friends off towards the north, really Gainesville northward, going to be taking a lot of rain, a lot of wind, and a lot of impacts from this storm. Here's its closest point to Southwest Florida based on the path, at least 100 miles or so due west of us. It will be a Category 2 storm at 105 miles per hour, forecast to be so by 8 p.m. this evening. Of course, Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt and Meteorologist Greg Rule will be watching this very closely as this storm continues moving due north and stays offshore of our coast. Let's take a live look. Wink Doppler 3X. We are seeing the central area of this storm now in focus with the radar. We're seeing that eye wall beginning to develop even more. You could tell when you start getting that yellow shading, that banding around that eye wall. This will continue to strengthen. And look at all these bands setting up just southwest of Collier County. That one will move through in the next 2 hours or so. This band will hold together, move through later on this evening, and that's when we have that chance for moderate to heavy rain, gusty winds, as well as potential for some brief spin-up tornadoes. A closer view to home. Light shower and storm just east of Lely, now heading off past US 41. This will be impacting you all right along I-75 through Golden Gate, as well as into Naples, heading towards Bonita Springs, maybe even southern Estero, up Fort Myers Beach. So keep that in mind. This path will continue working off towards the northwest at least 30 to 35 miles per hour or so. And anytime you get rain within a tropical system, we get winds to gust upwards of at least 40 to maybe 50 miles per hour as these rain bands start to move in. So this is now the activity that we're going to be tracking off and on through the morning, through the afternoon, also through the evening. Not seeing too much in terms of rotation as of yet. A little bit of rotation offshore, just west and northwest of the Naples Pier. More rotation within that line back to the southwest. And we're going to watch this rotation closely through the afternoon today as the Storm Prediction Center has us highlighted in that level 1 risk for tornadoes. Again, they're very brief. They're spin-up tornadoes, but nonetheless, we can see many of them form as we head through the afternoon and evening hours. Today, that tornado potential really peaking this evening and into the overnight hours as those bands of rain move through. Let's time that out. Again, that first band of rain moving through our area through at least the early afternoon. Better bands of rain and more organization arriving around dinner time through the evening commute. And those could allow that chance for those brief spin-up tornadoes this evening and into overnight tonight. After those few bands move through, we'll get a few more bands into tomorrow morning, and then this system heading off towards the north, making landfall just east of Apalachicola. We have a lot to break down with this storm. We're going to talk about this surge as well as all the local impacts. We'll have more on this coming up in the next 10 minutes.